Hey everybody, what's going on? Adam from Adam's Beer Ventures. Today we're going to do another episode of Talking Beer. Without being able to get to breweries, this is the next best thing. And it seemed that the first episode got some pretty positive feedback, so I want to try to get this out a little bit more and do this a lot more often during this whole virus crisis thing that's going on around the world. So today we're going to talk about a few pretty well known beers and one that's maybe not as well known. But we'll get into that here in just a second. If you haven't checked out the first episode, you can check that out on my YouTube channel, Adam's Beer Ventures. And if you like, you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, you have the website, adamsbeerventures.com. And you can follow me on Untapped at, go figure, Adam Beer Ventures. All right, so let's jump into this. I don't want to lose your attention. So let's start out with something on the lighter side. Um, this is from a brewery here in Maine. It's a bigger brewery. It's a pretty well-known brewery, especially here on the east coast of the United States. Um, and that, of course, would be Allagash. And today we're going to do one of their flagship beers, Allagash White. This is a great beer. Had it many times before. It's been around for a very long time. Allagash is a very well established brewery here in Maine. They're right in Portland. Great place to visit. Last time I went there was extremely busy, and that was about a little over a year ago that I made it up there finally. But their brewery's great. The atmosphere was there. It was great to be in a busy place because typically if I'm going out, I usually end up there middle of the day and nobody's at the brewery. So it was nice to switch it up a little bit and be in the crowds and everything last winter. So let's go ahead and pour this. All right, I'm grabbing my glasses here. Unfortunately, the weather outside today is not that great. It's sunny out, but it is cold as shit. And it's windy as hell right now. So we're inside today. I'm in the process of putting my home bar together, and you can see some of the decor in the background there that I've managed to get up so far. So here we go. Here's the Allagash White. You can tell it's a Belgian. Okay, right off the bat, you got that beautiful white head on it, that little bit of carbonation, and just enough of a little bit of a haze to it. But it's very light in appearance. Definitely, no question about it. It's a Belgian white. You can smell those hints of banana. You can smell those grassy notes with it. And as expected, it's a great beer. This is one of those beers that is good year round. Another one of those beers that pairs well with just about every food out there. And it's pretty widely available. I'm pretty sure I've seen this on tap as far south as Florida. And I've definitely seen it out west in Ohio when I've been out there before. I think you can, if you're in Canada, I think you can get this in Canada too, in Quebec and Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, because those border right here to Maine. So this is just a great all-around beer. There's a reason why Allagash has been so successful with this beer. So cheers to you guys over at Allagash. This is wonderful beer. We're going to put that one aside for now. The next one I want to talk to you about is actually from Florida. So Maine down to Florida, the other end of the East Coast. I tried these guys out many years ago when I was actually in Daytona Beach. And they're not in Daytona. They're actually on the other side of the state. They're on the Gulf Coast side. But these guys are another big brewery. They're actually probably a pretty good equivalent to Allagash, but in Florida. And that, of course, is Cigar City. I love Cigar City beers. All of them. I haven't had a bad one from them yet. They're really good. Their brewery is very close in atmosphere to what Allagash is. And I was there last year as well. I went there by myself. It wasn't too busy, but it was just busy enough. Talked to some patrons, sat at the bar, sampled a bunch of their beers. It was great. It was a good time. Um, but one of the signature beers that I've gotten from them, and one of their flagships that I can finally get here in Maine, which is awesome, is J Alley, the IPA that they have. This is definitely one of their more famous beers, and this is a really good IPA. It's very refreshing, easy to drink, and again, another one of those year-round beers that you can just about have with anything at any time of the year. So it's pretty good no matter where and when you are. So let's go ahead and give this one a pour. So of course we're switching from a Belgian over to an IPA, so it's definitely a different beer style. We're going to jump styles here today quite a bit. But typical IPA, it's got that nice color to it, lots of carbonation, slightly off white head here. Light on the citrusy notes. It's not in your face, it's not too hoppy, but it's there. A little bit of that floral notes to it. Well balanced. Always has been. Every single one I've ever had has tasted exactly the same. Well balanced. It does have a bit of a bitter kick at the end, but it's not overwhelming. That's probably why this has been a very popular IPA, because this is something that someone who isn't into craft beer would enjoy. This is something that they could get through and drink one or two of these at dinner or whatever. So that's why this has probably been so successful. Cheers to you, Cigar City. Can't wait to get back down to you. Wonderful beers. All right, put that one aside again. And let's go on. We're going to switch up beer styles now. Now, this one is definitely famous, and we're talking world famous. This isn't just famous here in the U.S. It's not famous from the country, just famous with the country that they're from. Sorry, again, this is raw, no script here. And of course, I am talking about Guinness. I happen to have some extra stout. This is left over from St. Patrick's Day, so it's a little over a month old, but still good. Now, a lot of people have compared Guinness to Budweiser, saying it's the Budweiser of Ireland, which I get it, because when you talk American beer outside of the United States, typically they affiliate us with Budweiser. When you talk beer outside of Ireland, you talk about Guinness, right? So that makes sense. Now, usually, I'm not too big of a Guinness fan personally, but they've been around for a really long time and for a reason. And that's because their beer is easy to drink for a stout. It's not over the top, and if you look back at how stouts were made and where they came from, and that they typically had some higher ABVs, Guinness actually isn't that much. We're coming in at, how much is it? 5.6, so it's not really that high. And when you pour it, it's nice and dark. Not much of a head, because this isn't one of the nitro versions of Guinness Extra, but very malty. I mean, it's probably pretty sweet. And of course it is. It's sweet, and for a stout, it's definitely on the lighter side. Again, meaning you probably drink this for most of the year. Not my go-to summer beer, no doubt. But on a day like today, where it's cold and windy, this is a good beer. I had this with some steak or, beef stew or something like that. Something on the heavier side, comfort foods, shepherd's pie, that kind of stuff. That's where Guinness shines. And that's usually where you find what you find for food in Ireland anyways. So is that comfort food type of stuff. So naturally this would go well with it. So cheers to you, Guinness. You've been around for a few hundred years. There's a reason why. Wonderful. All right. So the last beer we're going to talk about today. Now this is an interesting style that's starting to make its way around, and it's becoming more and more popular. It's another stout style. Oh, excuse me. No, this is a porter. I lied to you. This is actually a porter. Very similar styles, stouts and porters. Um, but the peanut butter thing is becoming huge with stouts and porters. I love peanut butter to begin with. So naturally, when you start talking these thicker, heartier beers, you put peanut butter into the mix. I'm in. It's great. It's a great idea for like a dessert beer and things like that. And this particular one is from Wild Ride Brew. All right, these guys are over in Oregon. I've never been. I actually got this as with the Beer of the Month club that I got as a gift, and hopefully I can get out there eventually when all this stuff is done. Try these guys out. But this is the last one I had. So this one's called Nut Crusher Peanut Butter Porter. All right, so let's try this one out. Okay. So you can see nice and thick, black in appearance. Actually, it's probably more of a brown, but it's hard to tell right now. Not much of a head on it, but definitely a brown head. Now, the smell with this, you can definitely smell those peanuts and that peanut buttery smooth smell to it. And it definitely has more of a peanut butter smell. Okay, and if you to describe the difference when you smell just straight up peanuts, you don't get that sugary sweetness that you get affiliated with peanut butter. That's the difference. Is this smells sweet. So it probably has something to do with the malts. Probably has something to do with the peanut butter they used to do it. But it's definitely, I've had peanut butter stouts and peanut butter porters that tend to smell more like just peanuts added to it, which is fine. It tastes good either way. Let's go ahead and try this out. Mm. Now that's another great beer. Okay, good porter. Again, porters really most of the year they're okay, and then a day like today where it's cold and windy, another great beer to have. I actually have when I've had this here at my house, most of the time I've been drinking as kind of a dessert beer, something after I've eaten. Not really the upfront. Doesn't pair well with a lot of stuff. I suppose it could pair well with barbecue if you really wanted it to, but during the summer, I'm not looking for stouts and porters. But it is good. Wild Ride, you did a great job. I can't wait to come out and see you guys. So cheers. Mm. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy these little talking beer episodes that I'm doing. This one was a little longer than my initial one in a few minutes. That's okay. Hopefully, I didn't lose your attention. But thank you so much for viewing. Please, if you enjoyed this, please like it. Subscribe to my channel if you want. Again, check me out at adamsbeerventures.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Untapped at Adams Beer Ventures. For all of those is my username and the tags. I don't put up much on Twitter, so if I don't put anything up there, don't be surprised. I don't think I've posted anything up there in a really long time, but I do have that. So you can follow me on all those. Also, keep an eye out for future episodes of Talking Beer. And again, we're going to be doing some cool stuff here once all this virus stuff is done and over with. And hopefully we'll be out visiting some more breweries. So check back later. All right. Cheers, everybody. Enjoy, stay safe, stay healthy, and please drink responsibly. I'll see you all later.